Alright, let's talk about New Orleans. When you picture the French Quarter, what do you see? I bet it's not the modern high-rises or the pristine sidewalks. No, you're probably thinking of the music spilling out of doorways, the smell of beignets hanging in the air, and those incredible, intricate iron balconies. They hang off the old buildings like delicate, heavy lace, framing the streets in a way you won't find anywhere else in America. They're as much a part of the city's identity as Mardi Gras or a bowl of gumbo. But have you ever stopped to think about what keeps this iron lace from crumbling into a pile of rust on the sidewalk below? It's not magic, my friends. It's a dirty job. Why all the fuss over some old iron? You might be tempted to think it's just fancy decoration, but in New Orleans this ironwork is woven into the very fabric of the city's culture and history. It's a symbol of resilience, a testament to a past filled with Spanish, French, Creole influences. These aren't just balconies, they are outdoor living rooms, elevated stages from which the city's residents have watched history unfold. Back in the 19th century, having elaborate cast-iron railings was a major status symbol. It was like parking a luxury car in front of your house today. The wealthier the family, the more ornate and complex their balconies design. This mail-order ironwork transformed the face of the French Quarter, turning brick and plaster buildings into the elegant structures we see today. The restoration process doesn't start with a hammer and anvil. It starts with a close, careful look. An expert, someone who knows this iron like the back of their hand, will go over every inch. They tap the metal, listening for the dull thud that signals internal corrosion. They look for rust blooms, orange blisters under the paint, cracked or broken welds, missing decorative elements, areas warped by time, impact, or gravity. This is the diagnostic phase. It's critical. Once the assessment is complete, the real dirty work begins, the cleaning. You can't just hose it down. Old paint, grime, pollution, rust. Media blasting is often used. Instead of sand, they use gentler media, crushed walnut shells, or baking soda. It's a messy, dusty job. The operator is covered head to toe in protective gear, like an astronaut, as they blast away the years. The blasting slowly reveals the raw, honest iron underneath. Hidden damage is finally exposed. After the iron is stripped bare, the surgical repairs begin. This kind of work requires a unique blend of old-world tools and modern technology. Walk into a restoration workshop, you'll see a fascinating mix. Roaring forge in the corner, just like 200 years ago, anvils of various shapes and sizes, rack of hand-forged tongs, row of hammers, assorted chisels, tools for shaping metal with fire and force, heat a straight bar until it glows cherry red, bend, twist, hammer, form a graceful scroll, shape a sharp, pointed finial, not all fire and sparks, modern precision tools. TIG, close-up of TIG torch and setup, TIG welding in action, angle grinder with delicate attachment cleaning a crack, fusion of muscle and meticulousness, hands and measuring tools. To really appreciate this restoration work, you have to understand where this iron came from. The earliest ironwork in New Orleans, from the Spanish colonial period, was wrought iron. This means each piece was heated in a forge and hammered into shape by a blacksmith. This early work is characterized by its simple, strong and elegant designs. The game changed dramatically in the mid-19th century with the rise of cast iron. Foundries developed techniques to melt iron and pour it into sand molds, allowing for mass production of incredibly detailed and elaborate patterns. The French Quarter became a showroom for this new technology. One famous pattern is the cornstalk fence at 915 Royal Street. The fence features detailed stalks of corn entwined with morning glory vines. It's a landmark in its own right. When restorers work on this iron today, they often find stamped foundry marks, a direct connection to the men and factories that created these pieces. The designs you see in New Orleans ironwork aren't just random decorations, they often carry specific meanings and tell a story. They are part of a visual language that was widely understood in the 19th century. Take, for example, the frequent use of natural motifs, oak leaves, acorns, a balcony with an oak leaf pattern, a way to project stability and timelessness. Another common theme is the grapevine, grape clusters and twisting vines. Grapes have long been associated with Bacchus and revelry, suggesting generous hosts. Similarly, floral patterns like roses and lilies were popular. You'll also find geometric patterns and S and C scrolls. In older forged ironwork, you might see symbols that hint at African or Creole traditions, subtly woven by the blacksmiths. Finials came in all shapes, from spear points to pineapples, a classic symbol of welcome. Every part of the design was considered. The ironwork is a history book if you know how to read it. Restoring historic ironwork is not for the faint of heart. It's a constant battle against a formidable list of enemies. The biggest and most relentless opponent is, without a doubt, the New Orleans climate. High humidity, salty air, and frequent heavy rainfall create the perfect environment for rust. Iron wants to return to iron oxide, rust. Restorers fight chemistry and nature. A tiny scratch in the paint is all it takes. Moisture gets in and starts the corrosive process. It spreads like a cancer underneath the surface. Cast iron is strong under compression but very brittle. It can crack from an impact, or from the stress of its own weight over 150 years. You can't just weld it back together. Standard welding heat makes it more brittle. That's why low-heat techniques and patience are required. The team must undo past mistakes before proper conservation begins. It's like being a surgeon fixing a botched operation first. The best conservators reinforce and save originals whenever possible. Replacing is a last resort. This commitment separates restoration from renovation. After weeks, sometimes months, of dirty, difficult work, the moment of truth arrives. The scaffolding comes down and the tarps are removed. The restored ironwork is revealed to the street. The transformation can be absolutely breathtaking. A balcony that was once a dull, peeling, rust-stained relic is now a crisp, elegant piece of architectural art. The details, clogged with a century of paint and grime, are now sharp and clear. The reward for the craftsman is seeing their hard work come to fruition. Deep satisfaction, taking something broken and making it whole again. They see the direct result of their skill and sweat, bolted to a building for everyone to admire. It's a tangible legacy. Restoring one piece lifts the whole block. So, at the end of the day, when the hammers are put away and the last coat of paint is dry, what have we really accomplished? We've saved some old metal from the scrap heap. Big deal, right? Wrong. This is about so much more than just iron. This work matters because it's a direct link to our past. By restoring their work with care and respect, we honor their skill. We also keep those old skills alive. The blacksmith who can forge a perfect scroll is carrying on a tradition that could easily be lost. This isn't just nostalgia, it's the preservation of human knowledge. These skills are a resource, and preserving our shared history is one of the most important jobs of all. It's a job that ensures the soul